Welcome back to the WWIA podcast. On this episode, WWIA founder and CEO John McDaniel is at the Foundation's Northern Healing Center, Camp Hackett. John is honored to spend some time speaking with two outstanding combat wounded Purple Heart heroes, United States Marine Corps Master Gunnery Sergeant Travis Jones and former United States Marine Corps Gunnery Sergeant and current United States Navy Lieutenant Mike Murphy, both of whom were attending the 16th annual Camp Hackett Group A event. They spend some time talking about their experience at Camp Hackett, from the excitement of the hunts and fishing for the elusive musky, to the power of nature, community, connection, and camaraderie. It's an incredible conversation that we're honored to share with you today.
This is John McDaniel. I'm the founder and CEO of the Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation, and this is the podcast Honor, Connect, Heal. And we're still up at Camp Hackett in the Northwoods of Wisconsin. It's the 3rd of October, 2022, and it's early fall. And this is a continuing series up here in the Northwoods, and typically I won't put any of our heroes on the spot and say, hey, you want to do a podcast? But I did that a few minutes ago because I've got two super special men with us here at Camp Hackett. And I just thought I'll take a chance and see if these guys want to get on the podcast because I think their stories are exceptional. And so I've got Travis and Mike with me, and I want to ask you both to tell us your name for the podcast purposes. We'll stop, and then go right into it. But right now, Travis, if you would, tell us your full name and spell it so we get it right on the backside and front side.
So Travis Jones, Travis Jones, Jones.
Okay, and your rank?
I'm a Master Gunnery Sergeant in the United States Marine Corps.
Master Gunnery Sergeant. Okay, excellent. Okay, Mike?
Mike Murphy, Mikemurphy, Lieutenant U.S. Navy.
Okay, slide that just a little closer to you there. Perfect. Okay, so this is who's with us. I'll start over again, and this is where I'd want to start the podcast. Okay, break. Hi, my name is John McDaniel. I'm the founder and CEO of the Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation, and I have with me two very special heroes. I call them heroes because they both have Purple Hearts. They've been up here. We've been hunting for rough grouse and woodcock, and they went out and musky fished yesterday and whitetails, and they went out and goose hunted and crushed them. So it's just been an amazing event up here, I think, for them. And I'm going to introduce them here and then let them tell a little bit about their story and their experience here at Camp Hackett. So let's start here. We have Travis. Travis, welcome to the show, and thank you, and welcome to Camp Hackett. And so just do a brief introduction of yourself, please, for our audience.
Hello. This place is absolutely phenomenal. It's special, and just sitting here, I'm looking outside and I can see the trees and the leaves are changing. It's hard to leave it. I'm trying to figure out how to get out of more work so I could stay here, but I don't think it's going to work out. So I'm a Master Gunnery Sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. I'm still active, just about 21 years now. I'm stationed over in Virginia. I came from 29 Palms and Camp Pendleton prior to that. And I've been an infantryman for all 21 years. And I joined just before September 11th. Joined the Marine Corps, joined the infantry, thought I'd do 4 years and go do whatever in the South Pacific and do a few deployments. And on September 11th, I checked into the School of Infantry and things changed. And so after the last 21 years, it's been eventful. And I got the opportunity to come up here, and they reached out to me. They've reached out to me for about 3 years consistently, twice a year. I've been deployed or training or doing whatever, and the timeline finally arranged up, and I came out here, and absolutely phenomenal time. And after 21 years of service, to come out here and just hang out in the woods with men who think alike, act alike, talk alike, and have the whole tribal thing going on out here with individuals has been absolutely breathtaking. And it's we have to feed ourselves, and everything we killed up here we've eaten, and then at the same time we're feeding our minds and our bodies and our souls, and sometimes we run empty on that, and I definitely am leaving here full. So it's phenomenal.
Well, it's great to hear, Travis. And I have a special spot in my heart for Marines. As an old Army infantryman, we've all worked together, and I know in the infantry, kind of live like earth pigs. We know how that is. But how many deployments do you have, Travis?
I'm well in the double digits. I just racked out my 14th one.
14. Okay, I've known a lot of guys with 9. I don't think I've ever met anybody with 10, and certainly never met anybody with 14. And that's just incredible, man. That's just incredible.
2 of them I cheated. I was only there for about 100 days, and I got wounded, and they sent me home.
That's amazing. Well, I mean, the podcast Honor, Connect, and Heal, and the honor piece. I just want to. You saw this community pile out of here and just, but we'll hold that thought for a second. But let's get to Mike. Mike, tell us about yourself. You also was a former Marine. I'm not going to steal your thunder, but a former Marine who turned Navy. Mike, tell us about yourself.
All right. Thanks, John. Mike Murphy, Lieutenant, U.S. Navy, former Marine. I just reached Gunnery Sergeant when I went over into the Navy. Started out with 1st Battalion, 3rd Marines in the infantry. Was in sniper platoon there. That's when I went to recon. And then was pulled to force recon. I stayed on the East Coast the entire time, and that was the majority of my career. I was, I think, in 8th or 9th grade during September 11th. So by the time I came in, everything was in full swing. I spent my entire Marine Corps career during wartime. Once that kind of died down, I started looking for alternatives, what was next, and the Navy offered the Medical Enlisted Commissioning Program. And so I applied for that and was accepted. They had sent me to nursing school, and now I am the officer in charge of a TBS in Quantico.
Wow. So, I'll tell you, we've all had, guys who, wanted to be one of those guys, one of those scout sniper guys. I've heard it so many times. It's like the running joke, the guys that, that tell the stories that aren't really true, about, I was a scout sniper, but you actually were a scout sniper. Right. And now you're fixing guys. Right. That's incredible. I've always had an amazing soft spot in my heart for the whole medical service crew. And Travis, I'm sure you've seen more than you probably wanted to see. But God bless the guys that are fixing up that are there to help fix up the guys that get banged up. The confidence that I had, when I was doing the just to have some super competent, amazing medical support. Because you guys save a lot of lives. And the guy who has been there and done that, started out on the, in the infantry side and then migrated to help and fix guys. I mean, that's a pretty special person. It really is. So I genuinely appreciate, what you've done for this country and all the lives you've no doubt saved and touched and helped heal and etc. So pretty phenomenal. Okay, so yeah, you're welcome. So for the crowd, I mean, I'm sitting next to two real deal, and if you could see them, I jokingly said the other day they look like little Dolph Lundgrens, or they stepped out of a GQ magazine. I mean, these guys are fit to fight. They look the part, like G.I. Joes. If we could you guys should go into that. We should just make G.I. Joes. You guys could both be like models for that. But these are two great Americans. So let's talk about the hunt. Okay, so far. I mean, the hunt's sort of a little incident. I don't want to say it's incidental, but I mean, the Northwoods of Wisconsin is one of the few places where you can do I think we did 5 different things in the way of sporting, right? You started out, we bow hunted, okay, for deer with our bows. You went to go hunt geese the first day. Like by 7:15 in the morning, you're limited out. Just stuck it to the Canadian geese, that is, and then some more bow hunting, and then some rough grouse and woodcock hunting. Some more, and then followed by musky fishing yesterday. And then, this morning you guys are like, we're going to go out on a stalk. So, I mean, here in the Northwoods of Wisconsin at Camp Hackett, there's just a ton, literally thousands of acres of untouched wilderness that where the fur bearers roam. There's wolves, bears, you name it, they're out there, and these guys strike out as the sun is starting to break the horizon with their bows, and I'm like, gotta love that. They're just going on a stalk, and then you end up going jump shooting some waterfowl and got another grouse. Anyway, so let's start over here with Mike. Tell us about your experience here at Camp Hackett on the sporting side, and then maybe give us a snapshot of your experience in general with the community.
Yeah, John. So coming up here, I really had no idea what to expect. Karina had sent the stuff out, and we get the email that says what to pack and what to expect, but it really doesn't shine a light on what actually happens up here. For the hunting piece, I think I've been a hunter my entire life, and coming up here and the animals that you see, I've never seen this many animals just sitting in a deer stand. I mean, I've seen turkeys, fox, coyote, a possible wolf maybe. There's plenty of does. There's small bucks running around, and the big bucks are smart and they're hiding in the shadows here. Seeing the grouse, I'd never even seen a rough grouse, so getting the opportunity to hunt those they're
fast, aren't they?
They're humbling. They're very humbling. It was just a surreal experience, and I didn't know what to expect with the goose hunt, but sitting there and watching that sun come up over Wisconsin, that cold air was just phenomenal. And
I got a great picture of you guys in the layout blonde. So those that haven't done it, and there's lots of ways to goose hunt, but up here, these American great American supporters of the foundation, locals that live up here, they see these geese, they know the farmers, they've gone out, Casey Williams, in particular with his entire team that he's assembled, go out, find where these geese are, talk to the farmers and say, hey, I got these combat wounded Purple Heart dudes coming in here. Can we use your field if they're flying in it? And the farmers are typically like, you betcha. So they go out, do all that recon, and then you guys show up, and it's like, okay, where are they at? Boom. They're setting up that morning, starting at like 3:00 in the morning. And then we rock up like rock stars, getting these ground blinds. The sun breaks the horizon, and then the Taliban starts to cup and land in, and we're just crushing them, right? So that's I got a picture of you guys, as the early morning sunlight in your blinds. It's just so cool. So yeah, lots of fun out there. Yeah, it was great. Yeah, super cool. Okay, so over to Travis, who, by the way, do you mind if I? Well, we're on air. We can. But you're a Native American.
I am. Yes, sir.
And you are from the Apache tribe.
The Cherokee Apache tribe. Yes, sir.
So this guy, yeah, I mean, I'm the biggest Jeremiah Johnson fan on the planet. We must watch that movie. I know you probably chuckle, man, but it's about as close as I can come to touch the magic. But honestly, I have had, and I hope there's a lot of Native Americans, listening to this. But I got to tell you, I have so much respect for Native Americans, and when I found out that that's how you were raised and that's your lineage, I was just fascinated. And last night around the fire pit, you talked a little bit about your heritage and the culture and some of the traditions, and you just had me pasted to the metal chair out there listening to you. So I just wanted to mention that. But you're both phenomenal sportsmen. That's the other thing. You guys came up, rocked up with a skill set that I admire. I've dedicated my life to it. There's a lot. I guess there's a lot more to learn than if you will. Like, I have so much respect for it. Like, I watch guys, I listen to guys. I'm out there doing it, and I'm always learning something. So anyway, Travis, from your perspective, talk through the sporting piece, because I know you both have a ton of experience, but I'd like to hear from your perspective, about the whole sporting piece here.
So yeah, it was absolutely phenomenal. We got picked up from the airport. Jake was there, grabbed us. We threw our packs in. We got out to the camp here. He's like, change over. Here's some scent spray, and get in the stand. So it was a expectation that you know what you're doing, and nobody sat in the stand with us. Gave us a sling, gave us a harness, get in the stand. So we climbed in the stand, and I set out to the first night. I'd been in Camp Hackett for about 10 minutes, sitting in a stand, and I was like, wow. And the sun was going down, the air got crisp, and I was like, it's phenomenal. And all the leaves and the colors and stuff, and all the new sounds coming to me in the woods. And I'm like, I'm not sure what that is, but whatever.
Right.
Those ravens.
Yeah. Ravens, everything.
The sound's amazing, right?
Yeah. So as the sun's collapsing down, and you hear the squirrels stop moving, and everything kind of gets, because now it's that witching hour, right?
Yeah.
Most things get picked off, and I just sat there, and I had the ability to 4 or 5 deer may have walked by. I don't know, but I just kind of zoned out and I had that ability to think about me for a minute and like what's going on, where I'm at, and what I'm doing. And I got to pull that into me. And then, they came and picked us up, and we got back, and John had a big old steak on the grill, and we ate that, and we kind of, we did the typical man thing. We sat around, sniffed each other, and made sure we're all okay. And, Mike, who's stationed 5 minutes from me, who's crossed path with me a dozen times and chewed up dirt overseas, and people we know that know each other, and we finally figured that out, and we got into bed, and the next morning we're up out of the bed, and we went to go do the goose hunting, and I'd never killed a Canadian geese in my life. I've seen them, I've chased them, I've always got it done. I don't have a dog. I've never been in a waterfowl too much. Last year was my first time trying it, and it's an addiction. And, we rolled up out in the field early that morning, kind of nervous. You don't know these people, you don't know what's going on and stuff. And we walked out there, and they were setting the blinds and camouflage everything. And they were like, grab scrubs, start loading on the blinds. Okay. And, just the tasking came out, and nobody, these quick handshakes, high fives, like welcome aboard. And they just took you in 100%. They just took you in. You're one of them. My blind was in between two people I'd met for about 30 seconds. They took me in, and there's a guy calling to my right, and somebody else to my left, and they absolutely, because the first 3 geese came in, I'll never forget it. It was Jake, Mike, and me, and on the other side, the first 3 geese came in, and they just watched us, and you could see them just smile when the 3 geese just fell. 3 shots, 3 geese.
Crumpled them.
Right, they just fell.
3 for
and
3.
they just smiled, and the guy in the far end was like, "This is gonna be a good morning." We just sat there and just crushed these geese as they came in, and 24 minutes of hunting, we were done. They took us to another farm, and they just showed us, and this is how we clean them, this is what we do, and nonstop. They're like, "When are you coming back? Can we get back out there tomorrow? Our tags reset tomorrow." So they were just ecstatic about it, and I was still pumped. I was like, man, that was quick. And so we got done with that. We came back here, reset, and we're like, "Hey, let's just go for a walk down this road." And we're like, "Absolutely." We grabbed the shotguns, no dog, just me, Mike, and Jake just walking down the road. And that's where I had my first meeting with a grouse. I heard it. I don't really think I saw it. And I got the quick class of like, you need to shoot when you see it. And we ended up bagging like 4 grouse within the next hour.
Did you guys get any woodcock on that run?
Not in that run. We didn't get a woodcock. I still didn't see a woodcock or know what it was. The next morning we woke up and we went back out after those geese, and we just had flocks of hundreds on us. So we smacked some more geese down, and that was a great time. I got a skunk kill. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah, I got a skunk kill. Yeah. I was looking behind us. I was put on rear security in case the geese came that way.
Yeah.
And it was the closest thing to a whitetail I had so far. So
it ruined the hunt. But it was,
man. Yeah, it smelled like hell.
Smell skunk the rest of the hunt. So.
I got one. Incidentally, I run a trap line. Not this time of year, but in the spring I do. Well, I will later on in the fall. I'll set some traps out there. But incidentally, I was going for coon and ended up with a skunk in my trap at last. It was this spring, and it happens, And I was about a quarter mile away from it, and I was like, "Oh man, don't be in the trap." And sure enough, there it was. And I actually I skinned it out. And I tanned it, and I've got it. I kept the pelt. It's a pretty pelt.
Well, the earlier morning, I had a goose get winged and take running across the field. And me being me, they like, "Hey, get up and get the bird." So I was chasing this goose down across the field. Like a 200-pound linebacker coming into this thing.
I got a video for you, John.
Yeah, in retrospect, I probably should have just shot it again, but I caught him. So when they saw the skunk, they were like, "Hey, Travis, go!" And jumped up and chased the skunk, shot it, which was bad. I probably should have shot it a little further down because we were right upwind of this thing. So that didn't work out. But
tell them about your woodcock. Tell them about your first woodcock.
And then so we finished up the goose hunt, and we came back and reset for the evening deer hunt, and that was the first night on the stand, and I had turkeys and squirrels and deer and everything, and we saw a good 6-pointer, just about 300 out, closing at 200 out, getting 100 out, and it got dark, and but just to sit there in that thing and watch deer after deer come by, I got all shaky and weird and had to pee, and it was just weird. But yeah, just, you got that bow, and you have to know you have to get them that close. The next morning we woke up and we went on a grouse woodcock hunt. And so everyone's telling me about these woodcocks and their beaks. And,
reticulating beak.
And how pretty they are. So I shot one. It didn't even have a beak.
Why did you shot the beak off? It's like, this isn't very pretty. Well, you shot him in the face, dude.
I didn't know we weren't going for headshots. I'm sorry.
Well, you guys, they just, honest to God, I said before, I switch gears here on you, but this morning I said to you guys, we were getting, I guess we had breakfast or whatever, and I said, listen, if you guys go out, they wanted to go jump shoot some of these ponds, and there's wood duck, which are probably the prettiest ducks out there, I think. I love them. And in all these years, we've been over 16 years, we never mounted anything for camp. We've mounted things for the guys, but here we don't have an example of a woodcock or a rough grouse, which we're working on. We'll make it happen this year. But anyway, so I said, you guys go out there. If you get a wood duck or a nice grouse, I'll get it mounted for you. And sure enough, they came back with a beautiful wood duck and a beautiful grouse. And I'm like, and I looked at it and I said before they left, I said, as long as it's not all mangled, I mean, don't, you guys are using 12 gauges. So they came back and they're both perfect. Like, I don't know what you guys did. You shot them with a pellet gun in the head, or what'd you do? But they're perfect shots. They're not mangled. They're beautiful specimens. And you did exactly what I suggested. And I was like, those two, man, that's just special. Pretty cool.
Yeah. So we got two woodcocks out of that hunt with that dog. Watching the dog was just amazing.
Yeah, and, Tommy's Pippa. Yeah, that's a beautiful.
The dog, the first grouse we jumped, I missed, hard miss, and the dog just looked at me so disappointed.
Yeah, it's a horrible feeling, isn't it? It's like, dude, I'm busting my butt here for you.
Yeah, the dog just looked at me so disappointed. And I was like, oh man. And then we finished up another deer hunt, and then I went out the next morning, and then got into this morning, and we did some musky fishing, and we just sat on that lake, and it was absolutely astonishing. I had 2 musky hit my line and just make me theirs. Hit my line. I really didn't know what to do. I was like, I thought it was hung up, because that's how I fish. I usually catch a lot of stumps and a hangover, but I thought, and this thing just came out of the water. It was phenomenal. So we got to see some musky, and then we ended another deer hunt last night. And last night was it. Like, I got in the corner, they were all around me, just they wouldn't get close to me. I had a pond out in front of me, so I just got to see. I was texting Mike, and everyone's like, hey, what is this? Like, explaining the ducks what I was seeing, and they're all just looking at me like I'm a big dumb idiot. But it was cool. And but yeah, for the community, we had the community dinner out here, and the biggest thing is I haven't been back home in like 20 years. And
that's amazing. You mean, you've been, with 14 deployments. Yeah. I mean,
I just haven't gone back home. It's just one of those things. And so having the tribal feeling again, like people just walk in, you have the same eyebrow lift, you have the same likes, you have the same desires, you have the same way of life, and have them come in, sit around a fire, have a drink. We ate all that phenomenal food, and it's absolutely, it's feeling on the inside. You're like, all right, I'm all full again. I can go back and do things, and like, I'm okay because I'm not alone, right?
Yeah.
Often or not, in the Marine Corps, we have our brother to our left and right, and that's what we live off of. And that's why we do everything we do. But to have that feeling of like, I can show up here in a week, like, hey guys, like, I'm here. I guarantee I'll have a goose in a day and a place to sleep that night.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned something the other day about, America, and you said, hey, my America, right now, I mean, is really everything in between, this and that. Remember what you said?
Yeah, in between New York and California, everything in between we call America. So I don't know how that's going to play out for me, but we'll see. But
it's the idea, right? I mean, it's the idea,
America, 100%.
Yeah, and that you went off, and have been going off, the both of you, for 20 years, some 20 years, and probably together you've got close to 30 deployments. And to be able to come back to some place in America where people are appreciative of what you did, that welcome you without question, make available their resources, and bring you into their tribe, their tribe, this community, with open minds, hearts, and no judgment, and share their culture with you and bring you in. I mean, that's I think that's kind of what you're saying, and that's maybe what you're feeling, and I think that, I mean, that's the good stuff. You ask me. I mean, that's what it's all about.
We're on the grind all the time. So you deploy, come back, get ready for the next one. And we live in our own little isolated community on or near a base, and we're all focused on the grind. Like, what's the next mission? What's the next training session? What's the next thing? We're on this grind, and to break away from that, come out here and see people that are grinding just as hard as you are, working every day. We got all these line guys out here who are working godly hours. They're getting ready to go down to Florida and help out. Like, they're working just as hard, and just, you show up, everything stops for 45 minutes in the morning. They get up at 3. The one guy was a football coach, got up at 3 with us, hunted, went down to his football game, didn't get back until like 2 in the morning, was there at 5 o'clock the next morning to hunt with us.
Yeah, it's crazy,
just to be with
right?
us. So it's phenomenal. It's I've never experienced anything like this. And it's absolutely breathtaking. It's something that's going to live with you. And, whenever, and this is cliche, and I'll deal with it, but like when you're in like a bad spot, and not like physically, like people shooting at me, whatever. When I'm in a bad spot, when you just have like a bad day and like nothing's going right, and you're just getting tired of things, right? And that you're just tired of it. This will give you something to draw on. Like, you know what? Like, just reach down, dig a little deeper, and just go one more. And that's probably the biggest thing I got out of this, is that, when it's just ugly, you got too many emails, too many meetings, because I'm not cool anymore. I don't get to cool stuff anymore. Too many emails, too many meetings, too much stuff, and just reflect back on this and be like, you know what? Like, those guys grinded away, and they took 30 minutes out of their grind just to give me just to make me feel good. So then you can pick yourself up and move on, and just maybe find somebody to do the same thing. It's not a bad thing.
It's humbling. This whole experience has just been humbling. It's humbling. The hunt's humbling. The deer humble you out there. They're skittish like no other deer in the world. The fishing is obviously humbling. The woods. We talk about the beauty of the woods, but when that sun goes down, that's humbling. That's some fear like you've never felt, knowing those woods get eerie, and you have all the bears and wolves out there. But then, the people are what humble you. And I think the experience that you've created here. The hunt is great, and we love the hunt, but it's a segue to these people, and for us to get to meet these people and see these people, see this town, this community, it really was just a surreal, humbling experience. Absolutely.
Well, we appreciate that, Mike. We genuinely do. Well, let me give you guys just one more whack at the piñata here, and then I know we gotta get you to Wausau here pretty soon, so you can get on your plane and go home. But yeah. So the what's next for you? And we'll start with you, Mike. I mean, what's next for you? You get back, and then what happens? And you kind of take us through maybe a quick wave tops of what's remaining and what's ahead of you in your career.
With the career, I'm a changer. The reason that I chose the profession that I did now was the time spent in the Marine Corps and seeing some of the things that I would have liked to have been done different when it comes to medicine and Navy medicine.
Okay.
Now I'm in a position to make those changes, and from here on, it's just higher levels of that opportunity to keep making an impact on taking care of our Marines and providing more support to them. So right now in the position I'm in, I have a pretty small footprint of what I'm able to change, but the goal is just keep growing, keep climbing to I can have more of a say so, more impact. Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's something that motivates you personally, is to be able to look at a system like this, and and of course the Navy and the medical service corps, and see some of the things that you didn't necessarily think were right or could have been done better. And it's important for you to get in there, roll up your sleeves, and actually be an impact player and a change guy, a change agent, if you will.
That's it.
That work. Yeah. That's incredible. Well, good. Well, and you're also you're a dad. You got a big family. You said the other day.
I have 5 kids. Yeah.
5 kids.
4 boys and a girl.
How old are you?
I am 34.
34. Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah.
Wow. Well, you got you got a dynamic life.
I do.
I mean, you go to work. You got all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then you come home and you got that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've got the wife. She's phenomenal.
Yeah, it takes a team, doesn't it? You got to have a team deal with that. You got a fire squad going on there. Outstanding. Outstanding. Okay. So, Master Guns. I love saying that. I think you're the only Master Guns. And I asked you at breakfast this morning, I said, hey, man, is it okay if I call you Master Guns? You're like, yeah. I said, where's the line there? You go, well, we had that conversation. But, it's an affectionate term. So tell us, Travis, what's next for you?
So yeah, immediately I get back, I gotta get back to work. I'm so late, but it'll buff out.
He's late.
Yeah.
He's at Camp Hackett doing a podcast. I'm late for work.
It'll buff out. So right now I'm in the position where I'm helping higher level staffs plan and execute operational type stuff. So the biggest thing right now is I'm relatively young and I got 9 years left in the Marine Corps at one rank. So I could just, my big impact that I want to have and where I want to go is we have 20 years of just experience amongst us, in the senior enlisted leadership and the officers. And what we don't need to do is any time right now is relive bad experiences. We have so much knowledge and so much education and so much things. So as I help these staffs, all those little details that people forget, our scar tissue shows it. So it's my goal is just to make sure that we don't make the same mistakes twice on a higher echelon of command. No matter who you are, where you are, if you've been in the military, you understand higher headquarters is always jacked up. At one point, I just want to say, I want to hear somebody say, hey, my higher headquarters is pretty good to go. And then I'll retire. I'm out. Right. So, but until then, I'm just going to keep grinding away at making, not making the same mistakes twice when it comes to the execution of our operations. And then I'll hang on my boots and go on my way. So.
Outstanding. So you got, what from here? So next ridgeline. Okay. For you after this job, if you, I know you don't got a Ouija board or a crystal ball, but I'm asking you, what's next? What's the next ridgeline for you? If you could, look out there and say that's where I'd like to go, or that's where I'm going. What's that look like for a guy like you?
My end dream is I get out of this and I go to a joint billet.
Okay.
I think the Marine Corps has a lot of capabilities that are misunderstood.
Yeah.
And at the same time, I think the joint world has a lot of capabilities the Marine Corps hasn't latched onto yet. And I would be 100% okay with trying to bridge that gap.
You see, I spent a lot of time, and for those the listeners that don't know what Travis is talking about when he says the word joint, we fight jointly, and we fight joint and combined, today, but the joint piece is all the services, Army, Air Force, Navy, Marine Corps, and the Coast Guard, too, as well. But he's talking about a joint billet in a joint command that takes all of the service branches and combines them, or the technical term I like to use is schmush. Smushes that together and puts that show on the road. But you get it. I see you as a joint fighter all day long because you sprechen the language, and you've certainly drank the Marine Corps Kool-Aid, but you're beyond you're beyond that cloak, if you will. You've busted out of that, and you've got a lot to offer. So yeah, you ought to be able to write your own ticket and get yourself to do that.
The end goal is, over the years, I've worked with Army and Navy and Air Force and in conflict and everything else and everybody else. It's right there. Like our lethality doubles when we all can just figure out what capabilities we bring to the board and throw it out there. But it's tough because everybody, we're in a martial culture and everybody has their thing. So it's tough, and I think each service has an incredible amount of capability, and I would love to be able to bridge that, and not so much for the Marine Corps or the Army or Navy or whatever. And but for the ability to just project that lethality forward for the commanders And that way, the biggest thing is defend America, right? Defend the homeland. So if I can project that lethality through my ability just to integrate people and make them work together, bring them together as a tribe, and
no, you got that. You got that skill set.
That's my end goal.
Yeah, good for you.
That's where I'm heading.
So, Mike, what's next for you, man? I mean, are you going to be the next chief naval officer of medicine? I mean, what's going on with you, man? I mean, what's next? What's the ridgeline that you're looking at after you get out of what you're doing now?
I mean, it's at this point, it's all based on the Marines. I mean, obviously I'm basing everything off on my family while the kids are growing up, trying to make the right decisions for them. But no, we also are going joint. We've just opened DHA. We're pushing over to DHA, which is just a joint healthcare system throughout all the services. So that's like Travis here. I'm kind of on that forefront with the push of that. I just came from Fort Belvoir, which was kind of the leaders of this DHA concept. And so moving up through the ranks will put me in that position where I'm also like a joint liaison for healthcare.
Right on.
Yeah.
Well, listen, as we close out, I just want to, personally thank you for what you've done for this country, and what you're continuing to do for the services and your family, and it's been an absolute honor for me to spend some time with you here, and mikase sukasa. If you guys ever need anything, we're here for you. I'm a phone call away. I'm a text. I'm a plane ride. You name it. We got and we're not a one and done organization. The foundation's here for you for the rest of your life. And, what we hope is that, when you pull back from the collective a little bit more, or take your foot off the accelerator, you can get some more of this on you. I've always thought about the foundation as using a medical, term, a dosage. I mean, even leaders like you need time to reset. You said it, Travis, early on. You got to step back from it, pull back, and just decompress a little bit, get another shot, get a booster, and then it just makes you that much more effective when you go back at it. So, I thank you very, very much for what you've done, and I mean that sincerely and genuinely, and I'll give you the last shot here.
No, John, I won't speak for Mike, but this has been a phenomenal. Your pancakes are amazing, and
man, blueberry pancakes. Learned that in Ranger School.
So, this whole thing's been phenomenal. I can't thank the community or anybody that supports and donates to this thing enough. Like it is. It is not words that'll do it, but I would say, as much thing like people that do a lot of work behind the lines that they clearly don't know how many lives they've saved. So I can fathom just being out here and anybody that's come out here that's been struggling or things like that, like get out here, or if you've been out here, like I guarantee, John, hands down, you've saved I don't know how many veterans, and you're a humble man, and you'll say, well, no, I'm just doing a thing. But I mean, you probably know how many people you put through out here, and I would say a good percent of that people were reset because of you, and that's absolutely amazing, and it's more than anybody could ever ask for from one individual.
Well, I appreciate that very, very much so. But I gotta, I have to say that this program is grown tremendously, and up here, these wonderful people have embraced it, and they've certainly, helped, round out and shape the space. Because I gotta tell you, I think, I remember coming back from combat, and I remember just the walk to the refrigerator was different. No kidding, I mean, like, everything is different. Like, I can open this refrigerator up and I got choices. That's a very simple thing, but, pulling back from that, just everything has changed, and my perspective on life has changed. Nothing will ever be the same. And so, to come and be in a place where, nature rules, I mean, I think is huge. That's where I found getting right with the world out there. And I thought to myself, well, I certainly can't be the only guy on the planet that this is going to affect. And so I just hope to be able to bring this experience to people. I didn't expect that the community would crawl out and step up to the plate. I had no idea, And so, as we dug our way deeper into this space and more people are like embracing it, going, yeah, I can see why this is good. I want to touch, I want to touch some of this magic as well. And so, there's a lot of layers to this thing, and it's pretty complex, and you can get all kinds of nuts with a slide rule and try to figure it out. But at the end of the day, it's a bunch of people who genuinely want to say thank you for what you did, And I know you guys, you don't feel that way. I get it, You don't feel like you deserve it, but you do, absolutely. And they just want to say their way of getting up at, going to bed at 3:00 in the morning and getting up at 5 and being out here just to be here. I'll bet you they'd rather be here than any other place on the planet.
Yeah.
Just to be close to you, and I feel the same way. That's how much respect I have for you, right? To be able to share some of this with you. It's just a small thing, but it's big medicine. To me, it's super big medicine. So shout out to the community and anybody across America who's helping, the foundation do its work. I mean, it's super impactful, and we can't really understand it. We just know that it's good, right? It's whatever's in the sauce is really good. So, any last shots? Save rounds?
Yeah, I just want to thank you. I think Travis nailed it on the head there. I won't double tap that. While the hunt was absolutely, rehabilitating, this has just been one of the best experiences of my life. And again, on the community, the people of Phillips, Wisconsin the support that just pours out is just unbelievable. It's nothing but patriots here. Yeah. These are the type of people that if you tell them you like the shirt or hat they're wearing, it's coming off and they're going to give it to you.
Right.
It was just a great experience, and it really helps guys like me and Travis out seeing these people and seeing and remembering, especially where we're living now and up near DC and in Northern Virginia, coming out here and seeing these small town folks that are still the true patriots. It kind of gives you a little hope. For the country and for us, and reminds us why we do what we do. So just really want to thank you and them and everyone that made this experience possible.
It's our pleasure. Well, listen, we're going to wrap this up. We get these guys on a plane and get them back to their jobs and their families and their homes. So anyway, we appreciate everybody's time. Thanks for listening, and we hope you have a great day.
Thanks, Sean.
All right, bye.
To learn more about the mission of the Wounded Warriors in Action Foundation and how you can get involved, please visit our website at wwiaf.org or follow our social media pages on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. Thank you for listening to the WWIA podcast and for helping us honor, connect, and heal our combat wounded Purple Heart heroes through the power of the great outdoors.
If you like what you're listening to here and would like to join our team in our mission to bring healing power and recovery to America's Purple Heart heroes, please become part of our Sponsor a Hero team by clicking on the link in the podcast notes or by going to wwiaf.org/sponsor. That's wwiaf.org/sponsor. Our heroes need you now more than ever. Thank you.